Welcome back, everybody. You joined me about a week and a half out from my Ironman race, Ironman Lake Placid. So we're now into taper week. Technically 2 weeks of taper. Yeah, so things are a little bit lighter now. Training has been a little bit easier. Not as long workouts as I'm used to. So I have a little bit more time now on my hands to do more stuff like this, filming. So today and for the rest of this week, today is Tuesday. For the rest of this week, nope, today's Wednesday. I lied. Anyway, you will be joining me for the rest of this week here during the first of 2 weeks of taper before I get into a really, really light week leading into Lake Placid. So today on the schedule, we already did a 50-minute run on the treadmill down here this morning. I did not film that. We're going to now get into a little bit of a strength workout. Super light. I'm not going crazy with it. I have to keep it light. And for my coach's sake, Christian, this is AI generated, so none of this happened. Anyway, part of it is prehab for my shoulder area and for my bicep here, just because I felt a little bit of pain while swimming in the past couple of weeks. So I'm just kind of easing back into the swing of things here. It's more tendon pain than anything, so I'm doing a little bit more isometric training for the tendons in the surrounding area. But we've got that, and then I've also got a couple of other things in mind. Again, not doing anything too crazy. It'll probably be more upper body focused, a little bit of pull-ups. Maybe we'll do a little bit of ring work, probably not too much though. And then I'll get into probably some kettlebell work, a little bit of plyometric work, maybe for a little bit of explosive training. But again, nothing crazy. It's not going to be hard. I have to take it easy, but it's something that will keep me, I don't know, from like spinning out of control, out of my mind, because I'm not doing as much as I'm used to. Anyway, doesn't matter. Tomorrow is a good day of training. We've got a 2-hour bike ride, and then we have got a swim in the afternoon. Usually I swim in the mornings, but during the summer, my normal pool is closed, so I have alternate options. So my swim times are now in the afternoon rather than in the morning. Friday, we've got another swim. Saturday, we've got a 3-hour bike with a 30-something minute run off the bike. That's the last brick workout before race day. And then Sunday, we've got an hour 45 light, easy by feel run. And then next week is race week, which is kind of crazy to think about, but it's finally here. It's been a long prep. I have not recorded as much as I wanted to, again, because this training just takes so much time. It is super consuming, but yeah. I've enjoyed it, and now I'm going to take you guys along for a week in my life during taper week, one of 2 taper weeks, technically speaking. So we're going to get into this workout, or get into the rest of this workout, and yeah, I'll take you guys along for some of the things I do during my taper weeks. We're going to jump into this workout, and I will see you guys probably tomorrow morning. Just for a bit of quick context here, what I'm doing right now is I'm doing some isometric holds for the biceps just to activate the tendons and to build a little bit more tendon strength around the surrounding area of the bicep and the connecting tissue up here, up by the shoulder, going into the chest just around here, because that's where I've been having some pain a little bit. So that's what I'm building right now, is the tendons there. This is more so for less about muscle, and it's more about tendon, because those are 2 different things that you can train. So this one is for tendons, not muscle. Is the workout complete? I didn't do the plyometrics explosive work that I said I was going to at the beginning. I forgot that I wanted to do a little bit of ab work, so I did some hanging leg raises, and then I also did a little bit of planks and some, Russian twists. I did those two off camera, but yeah, that's the workout. I didn't push it too hard. I kept it to the intensity to a minimum, so probably around 5, maybe 6 at times. I really didn't want to push it too much because I don't want to cause too much fatigue, especially during this week of tapering, this first week of tapering especially. Again, second week is going to be more important because that's going to be race week, but you get what I mean. But yeah, that was a pretty good session. I'm pretty happy with that. I definitely can notice that I've lost a bit of strength. I noticed that I'm hitting that 5 to 6 out of 10 RPE a little bit quicker than I would like to be hitting it, in terms of going up in weight on certain exercises, like for example, weighted pull-ups or chin-ups, excuse me. But it's kind of to be expected. I'm in really good endurance shape right now. I'm in definitely the best shape I've ever been in my life. And the trade-off there is I'm in excellent endurance condition, but I sacrificed a little bit of my strength and muscular side, which I'm okay with doing for now because I've got my race coming up. One of my priorities after this hectic race period that I have coming up is definitely going to be adding on a little bit more strength, getting a little bit of size back on. Nothing, again, too crazy. I don't want to push it up too high, but I do want to elevate that ceiling just a little bit. So right now I'm sitting probably around 160, to be honest. Before, when I started prep, I was at 165, a little bit more than that at times, maybe up to 168. So I'm definitely on the lighter side, but I'd probably be looking to get into the 165, 170 range after my race period and all of my races. But right now my focus is on endurance, so it's going to stick with that. And I haven't honestly lost that much in strength that I'm okay with it. I'm fine. You know, I may have lost 10 or so pounds on the bench and, you know, another 5 or 10 pounds here and there on other exercises. But honestly, I've not noticed that much of a difference, especially for the amount that I've improved in my endurance aspect of my fitness training. So I'm quite all right with that. But yeah, that is the strength workout done. I don't think I'm going to do another one before going to my race, going to Placid. Maybe I'll get in another light one, another light session, but then focus more on my recovery with my mobility and rehab, prehab, which was talked about in the last video. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. But yeah, now we've got, next we've got a 2-hour bike ride tomorrow morning and a swim in the afternoon. So we're going to continue on with this taper week. I'll take you a little bit through my week going through tapering and go from there. Morning, everybody. Today is Thursday. It is currently 6:22. We've got a 2-hour bike ride on the schedule for this morning, and we've got a recovery swim in the afternoon. I don't even know what the workout looks like, to be honest. I haven't really looked at it that much. Okay, we got aerobic 10-10-10s, which is just 10 minutes at base wattage, 10 minutes at fat max, and 10 minutes at lower tempo. So all aerobic work more than anything. It's not going to be too difficult, or at least it shouldn't be. But we're going to get into this workout. I'm going to get a little bit of foam rolling in, then we'll get started. And then off to work, and then I get out of work and go straight over to swimming. So let's get into it. Ride complete. That's 2 hours done. We got to get going. It's currently 8:38. So yeah, it was a pretty good ride, pretty easy. Felt great. No complaints there. And that's another good ride down before we get into the last long ride of this prep, which will be on Saturday. That'll be a 3.5-hour bike ride, or a 3-hour bike ride, I don't remember, one of the two, somewhere around there, with a run off of the bike. And that'll be the last really long ride before race day. Again, crazy to think about, but got to get to work, and then we got to swim later. And then Friday, I've got a recovery session in the morning, and then a swim in the afternoon. The swim is what I will film, so that is when I will catch you guys next. I'll film a couple of little pieces in between now and then, but good session. So we're going to get going, and I will see you guys on Friday afternoon. Welcome back, everybody. Today is Saturday, and we've got our last brick workout. Well, technically not the last, but last real brick workout before race day. The day before usually is like a mock-up triathlon, super short with all three of them, swimming, biking, and running. So technically that's a brick, but technically not. This is the last brick workout. I'm calling it that. Anyway, we got a 3-hour bike ride with a 40-minute run off the bike. This 3-hour bike ride is a little difficult. We got a couple of intervals in here. I think three minutes hard around 300 watts, and then 2 minutes easy at around 180, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 185 maybe. But this workout does get a little difficult towards the end, the last 3 for me. But I do a lot of it standing up because there's going to be a lot of hills in Lake Placid. So I want to get a little bit more comfortable with getting out of the saddle and up. Not that I'm not comfortable with doing that. I'm perfectly capable of doing that. I just know that that's what I'm going to be doing a lot of in Placid, so I'm going to get used to it here. Then we got a 40-minute run off the bike. That's relatively easy. I think it's like a 10-minute super easy light pace, and then 30 minutes kind of like active, how I think I'll be running in Placid. But yep, I'm excited for this one. This is going to be a good workout. And it's going to be the last super long workout, bar tomorrow, which is an hour 45 run. But no, I'm stoked to do this. We got 2 bottles of Gatorade Endurance. I think these are 24-ounce bottles, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. I don't know. I think they're 24-ounce bottles. We got 1 bottle of just straight water. And now on for nutrition. We will get into this whole shebang here. I'm not sure if you guys can see that in the camera. You can. You can see just enough of it. I'm not moving it. I can't be bothered. Anyway, so we're going to get a 90, so that'll be 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes, so that's an hour and a half. 2 hours, 2.5 with the 60-gram chew. And I got the Fig Newtons over there, so that'll be another 30 minutes. And I always take an extra chew or gel just in case I feel like I'm really tired or fatigued and I really need it. So we will have that. This is for nutrition, so I'm going to put this down and put it up to the camera for you. Okay, so that's the 90. We've got an extra 30-gram chew just in case. And we've got the 60 that I'll be taking after I finish up my 90. So 130, 160, 190, and then I've got some Fig Newtons that I will have instead as well, just as a little bit of extra carbs and sugar, and to change it up a bit, because as good as these precision fuel and hydration chews are, I find them delicious. It is nice to have a little bit of variety, a little bit of mixture with my nutrition, because it can get a little bit boring after eating the same thing over and over again for 6 hours. In this case, it's 3 hours, but I digress. So we do not have an open thing. Okay, so we're also going to have some electrolyte capsules. So these are 250 milligrams of sodium per capsule. Let's see. I believe that is it. Nope, there's also potassium. I forgot about that. 125 milligrams of potassium. Now, what I like to do with these is, since they come in this gigantic tray of capsules, I like to cut them into 3 strips. So there's 3 strips of them. Cut them into 3 different strips, just to make it a little bit easier to carry around, and it also stuffs easier into my front pocket just up here on the bike. I don't know if you can see that or not, but anyway, let's get a pair of scissors. Here we go. Just clean up the scraps here. Oh, apart from the fact that I dropped one. Alrighty, there we go. So these 2 away. So we've got a full strip of electrolyte capsules, 250 milligrams of sodium, 125 milligrams of potassium. I will probably take 1 of these per hour. Again, also depending on how I'm feeling, so I could take more if I do need it. That's why I always have extra. But it'll probably be around 3 in total for this ride. And then I'll take another 2 on my run, depending again on how I'm feeling, 1 or 2. So hopefully I can limit it to 1. But if I really need it, I will use 2. We will also be using, I have to take it out actually, that's a good point. Also be using my running vest here. So I carry my 2 flasks of, I'm just going to have water for this run, since it's not that long. And that's when I'll have another one of these tabs as well during that run. I don't necessarily need to have Gatorade for this. If it was a race day, I would absolutely be using Gatorade. But in this instance, I will not. So I'm just going to leave that over there off to the side. Yep, I think that's pretty much it for prep and getting ready. You saw me making the water bottles of Gatorade, and then I have my 1 bottle of just water, ice water. But yeah, things are shaping up to be pretty good for this race. I'm pretty excited for it. And swim actually went really good yesterday. I didn't get to film too much of it. You've already seen it already, but there are a few, say, limitations with recording there, so who cares? Whatever. But I will also be recording next week, or after I get back, to record a bit more footage of me underwater to get some feedback from my coach on how I'm looking swim form-wise, because that has been my biggest failing. That has been my biggest issue with swimming, is obviously form. I have no problem putting out effort. It's more so the fact that I have bad form when I'm putting out effort, which caused me to have some slight irritations of pain inside of my chest here on the tendon, going through the bicep as well. So that's something I really need to focus on. The past week that I've been swimming, though, it's felt much better. I felt really good, and it felt pretty easy, to be honest. Doing even longer distances, I did 2 by 500 yesterday, and then had a 100 break in between, and then 4 by 250, with the first 250 being with pull paddle, and the second 250 being without pull paddle. But yeah, I thought that was going to be a little bit more difficult. It wasn't exactly what was on the plan, to be honest. What was on the plan was 20 by 50, so that would be 2,000 yards there, and then warm up and cool down for 3,100 in total. But I decided not to do that and instead break it out into longer distances, because this is a long race and I need to get comfortable with doing longer distances in the pool and being comfortable with doing that. Not that it was super long distance, because that's not even close to what the full distance actually is for the Ironman swim, but the hard efforts that I would be doing on the 50s, I'll just push it too hard. I don't really have great self-control over that, if I'm honest with you, because I feel like if it says hard, I have to do it at a very hard intensity. So didn't necessarily do that just to save the shoulder, pec, bicep region area up here, because it, like I said, has caused a bit of irritation for me. But it is now just about to be 9 o'clock. We're going to get a little bit of foam rolling in first to get a warm up, and then we will jump into this bike workout and then run off the bike. So I think my head's cut off. I think my head's been cut off the whole time. Anyway, no matter. Doesn't matter anymore. So let's get into this bike workout. Actually, correction. So let's get into this brick workout. Hopefully there's not too much wind noise here from the fan. So what does a week of taper actually look like for me? To be brutally honest, pretty much the same as every other week of training for this race. Only difference is lower intensity, lower volume. That's it. Nothing else really honestly changes that much. It stays largely the same. Just lighter intensity and lower volume. I eat pretty much the same. Because I need to. I want to keep that consistency. I wake up around the same time. Maybe I sleep a little bit more because I don't have to get up as early for long workouts because they're shorter. But yeah, it's pretty much the same. Different in a way, but also the same. But it also allows me more time to do other things. For example, record more, make more videos, and get other things done that I wouldn't normally do. Because prep, especially for a full distance Ironman, is a lot. The amount of hours per week that you have to dedicate to it is at times a bit ridiculous. But that's why we do it. Because most other people won't. And because when you cross the finish line, it's gonna feel fantastic. That's why we do them. Now, there will be a documentary coming out for this race, Lake Placid, and that's going to be, hopefully, a little bit more immersive than my last one. Last one, I didn't really plan it out too good, so I didn't get too much footage, to be honest with you. So hopefully this time we'll get a little bit more footage and it'll be a little bit higher quality and really show you the experience and what it's like actually being at that race from my perspective. But yeah, I eat pretty much the same. I do pretty much the same things, just lower volume, lower intensity. Honestly, that's really it. But what I eat is pretty much the same. The only difference is between my video about what I eat in a day and now, only difference is I've changed my breakfast. So before I used to have cereal with honey. Now I have a bagel with peanut butter and honey on top of that. Bit more protein, a bit more fat, so it's more filling, but it also provides sustained energy. Other than that, everything stayed pretty much the same. So I figured I would just give a quick mention to that, because in case this video didn't seem like it was too much different than another video, it's because it really isn't. Really isn't. That's what I'm just trying to demonstrate to you. It's pretty much the same. Next week will be different, but that will be in a documentary, not in here. So, with that said, I'm going to get back to this bike workout, finish this off, then we're going to go into a 40-minute run off the bike. I'll give you a quick debrief of how things went, and some of the things I eat as well on a weekend, especially after a long session of training like this where I burn many calories and I need to recoup some of that back. But yeah, with that said, let's get back into this workout. All right, that's the 3-hour bike ride done. I'm gonna run upstairs now, get my flasks and everything ready, and then head out for the 40-minute run off the bike. I'm not gonna film any of that, but you will see me. You will see on the screen here how long it takes me to transition, because I'm about to time it, but I'm going to take that with a grain of salt, because my flasks would technically be ready. They're not ready right now. So I'll put the stopwatch on, turn this off. All right, so I'm gonna go right now and see how long this takes. Okay, so that is transition done. That took me, I'm going to put it up here, 8 minutes. Oh boy. That's never gonna focus, is it? Maybe. I don't know if you could see it, but it said 8 minutes and 50 seconds. That is including, though, filling up these flasks, which in a race I wouldn't need to do because they would already be done. So subtracting 4 minutes off of that, and you get a total of 450 for the transition, which by my standards is actually decent. By everyone else's standards in triathlon world, that's terrible. Anyway, we need to get going, so I'm gonna go upstairs real quick again, grab the sunblock before heading out because it looks pretty hot outside, and well, because it's also 12:30, so it's the middle of the day and it's gonna be beaming sunlight. Great. Anyway, that is transition. That's the bike done. Now we're gonna get into the run, and I will conclude this workout for today. Whew. Alrighty. Yeah, it's a little hot out. Actually, let's check. Okay, so it's not too, it isn't too bad, but 84. And I got sweat going into my eyes, so now my eye is watering. Okay. So that's the brick workout complete. That actually felt really good. Really good, actually. So that was 5 miles in 40 minutes. Pace was 7:59, just below 8. Good. Good. That was not just an easy run. It actually did feel easy, though, with the given intervals, but it was just 4 sets of 1 minute hard, which prescribed was like 7:10, somewhere around there. That's not really that hard, so I pushed it to 6:30 for the 1 minute. 4 minutes active, so that was like, I did around 8:10, and then 1 minute rest recovery. Super light, but I ended up doing those at 8:30 rather than the 8:50 I was supposed to do them at. Never mind, could be worse, so whatever. But yeah, that was a good workout. I'm really pleased with how it went. The heart rate was high, but that's because the humidity is just awful, so there's also that to factor in. I'm going to put very strong for how I felt. There we go. Good. Alrighty. So yeah, tomorrow is the last long workout of the prep. And it's really the last long workout I'll do before race day. Well, definitely. Yeah. Hour 45 run, and that's where we will wrap up taper week number 1. Taper week number 2, as I said before, will be in the documentary. This is kind of getting a little bit repetitive, but I don't really know what to say. So there's that. So we're going to get cleaned up, washed up here, and go have something to eat because I'm starving, as you might imagine. And yeah, we're going to get a little bit of work done too. And that's pretty much it.
not cracking under pressure.
Under pressure.
So you get it? I'm cracking under pressure.